Yo, what's good, family? This is your host, your brother, your professor, Mr. O'Neill Barnaby, founder and director of the Black Math Academy, here showing you guys what intelligent black society is all about. All right, welcome to part two of my weighted average GPA problem, stemming from a post that I made a couple of days ago. We have a part two because this question happens to be related to the first question. So, let me get y'all this game right quick. So, the question reads, in addition to other requirements, all honors students must maintain a GPA of 3.2 or higher. What is the lowest score Adam must achieve in his 3-credit college writing course in order to remain in the honors program? And we have choices: A, 3.2, B, 3.6, C, 3.7, or D, it's not possible. All right, so here's where GPA actually is useful and helpful to you. There's a couple of areas where GPA would actually work. One of them would be to for scholarships. To maintain or to get that money from scholarships, you have to have and maintain a certain GPA throughout the semester or throughout the school year. So you want to make sure you maintain that to keep getting that free money. Another place where it's useful would be the degree itself. When you go to college, to actually obtain the degree, you need to have a certain GPA in order to meet that. You just can't get any GPA and expect to actually get the degree. So it's useful there. And also the Dean's List. The Dean's List is just like the honor roll system in high school, but think of it for honor roll system in college. All right, so with that being said, we know that from the previous problem or the previous video that this is a weighted average problem, and the way to calculate that was to multiply the GPA with the credit hours, and that would give us the sum that we actually needed. All right, so continuing that process, 3.7 times 3, 2.3 times 4, 3.0 times 2, 3.3 times 3, and 4.0 times 1. When you multiply that and add that together, you get a sum that is 40.2. All right, and then we had to divide by the number of numbers, which in this case was the total credit hours. And if you add all these values together, you get 13. 3 and 4 is 7, 7 and 2 is 9, 9 and 3 is 12, and 12 and 1 is 13. So 13. But now we have to take into account this new class. He has a college writing course, which is blank on his report card here. We know that it's a 3-credit course. So within 3 credit hours, we're going to put 3 here. What we're trying to look for is his GPA, the actual, the lowest score or his GPA that he would need to be able to maintain his honor roll status. So that's this value here, which we don't know. And in mathematics, what we don't know is the variable. So you can pick any variable, any letter that you want. We'll just call it X for now. Now, keep in mind, this is a weighted average problem, and the way to figure that out was to multiply the GPA with the credit hours. So we did that for the first 5 classes. Now we have to do that for the 6th class. So X times 3 would be the sum, the product that we need, and then combine that with what we have so far to ultimately become the sum. So X times 3 is 3X. So we're going to add that to what we already know, 40.2, the sum so far, plus 3X, his ultimate sum. And 13 was how many credit hours he had so far, but now we have that same class, that 3 hours, so we're going to add that to the total here. And if you combine all this information, you end up getting 40.2 plus 3X over 16. So this is how you're going to set up the problem so far, 40.2 plus 3X over 16. Now, this is his average, and we also know that he needs to have a 3.2 average GPA in order to maintain his honor status. So this average actually has to be equal to that 3.2. So this is the problem that we're solving. 40.2 plus 3x over 16 equals 3.2. Now, this is just an algebra problem. algebra problem, you just follow the rules of algebra. You do the opposite operation to move things to the other side and get the variable by itself. So first thing I would do is to multiply by the 16 to both sides so we can get rid of it. Anytime you have a fraction, you definitely want to get rid of that problem. And the way to do that is to multiply by whatever is in the denominator to both sides. So this side gets multiplied by 16. This side gets multiplied by 16. 16 over 16 cancels out. And what you're left with is the top. 40.2 plus 3x is equal to, and 3.2 times 16 is equal to, let's see, 10 is 51.2. And then, again, we're still following the rules of algebra, so we're going to subtract 40.2 from both sides to combine like terms. 40.2 minus 40.2. You get 3x is equal to 11. All right, so 3x is equal to 11. And then we're going to divide both sides by 3 to get the variable by itself. Divide by 3, divide by 3. X is 11 divided by 3. Well, 3 goes into 11 3 times with 2 left over. So it'll say 3 2/3. And you can convert that 2/3 fraction into a decimal. It would be a repeating decimal. 2/3 is 0.6 repeating itself over and over again. So 11 over 3 happens to be 3.6. But the 6 will repeat over and over and over again infinitely. All right, so x is equal to this, 3.6 repeating itself. And keep in mind, x was the value of the GPA that we were trying to look for. But the question is asking for what's the lowest score Adam must be able to achieve. So among our choices, 3.2 wouldn't be it. 3.6 wouldn't be it either because the actual value of x is 3.6 repeating, 666, which is actually bigger than this. So you can't have a 3.6 and still get 3.2. It would actually be less. So 3.7 would actually be the right answer here because 3.7 is just above 3.6 repeating itself, and it's the lowest score possible to be able to maintain Adam's honor status. So that's how you go about solving a weighted average problem again, but this time with a missing class. So if ever you're if you're worried about if you're going to get the right GPA because you're worried about failing or you're not going to be able to hit this certain mark, now you know how to go about calculating that mark for yourself, so you know exactly what to do in your classes so that you can achieve that. So now you know why you shouldn't start off on the wrong foot. You always want to start ahead of the game so that you don't have to play catch up like this person did, where he needs a 3.7 GPA, which is essentially an A- in his college writing class. So he really has to put in that work to get that A to maintain his honor status. Okay? All right, everybody. That's another example of Intelligent Black Society. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe on our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And always remember, that if you can't explain something simply, then you don't understand it well enough. Take it easy, y'all.